Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beating the Odds. It is Thursday, December 19th, 2024. We are back with our best bets of the day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Zach, and welcome to Beating the Odds. Let's recap yesterday's results. So, back-to-back winning days. We had a nice another winning day yesterday. Our members only best bet, biggest bet of the day by a mile, UNLV -3. Absolutely love to see it. Pretty much an easy win. I mean, once they scored in the second half, it was over. Love to see that. Bradley moneyline, not gonna lie, didn't watch 1 second of that game, but we got the dub. Under 6.5 Philly and Detroit, that was a loss. Over 5.5 Florida and Minnesota, that was a win. Stars moneyline was a loss. UVA plus 5.5. I felt like a motherfucking oracle in that one, man. If y'all watched the video yesterday, what I said was I thought UVA would jump on them, and then Memphis would win by 3. That exact thing happened, other than the fact that Memphis only won by 2. But covered the 5.5, so who cares? And then Michigan -3 was a complete travesty. They're up by 3 with 23 seconds left, and all I was thinking was, they get a 2, get fouled, so we can still cover. They miss a shot, get fouled, still a pretty good shot at covering. The only thing that can't happen, the only thing, is a 4-point play. And God, did Michigan give it to us. My Lord. You know what? That was a hell of a shot by Fears. Unbelievable. Unbelievable shot. That was just very, very impressive. But you know what? Tough loss, but it is what it is. Overall for the years, though, I'm loving where we are, just honestly, in our NBA, NHL, and college basketball records right now. I feel great. Very, very profitable. And we have a loaded, and when I mean loaded video for you guys here today. We have NBA leans. NBA is back. I'm gonna go through every single game, and I'm gonna give you guys where I'm leaning right this second. Obviously, I'll put those picks in throughout the day on the pin count below. Also add those on Twitter, and members, you'll have that well before everybody else, but everyone will end up getting the NBA leans for the public. And I have got college football play for you guys here today, and I've got 2 NHL plays for you guys here today. But if you haven't already, and we've been making y'all money, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, notification bell so you never miss a pick. We post these best bet videos every single day. We're after 15,000 subscribers. So excited to have y'all here. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some money. So let's start with our NBA leans, okay? Again, these are not plays I have not put in yet. I will put in my plays a little bit later because it's the NBA, and if you're betting any game before 4 o'clock Eastern in the NBA, you're just missing in the boat here, in my opinion. So first things first, start with OKC and Orlando. This game comes down to me. I think this could be a letdown spot for Oklahoma City. Again, they just came off losing the championship and for the NBA Cup. Yes, on Tuesday. We had the Bucks plus 5.5 in that game, by the way. Members only best bet dub. Love to see it. Also, we gave you guys the under as well publicly, and we got that one as well. But this just feels to me very, very much so either an underplay at 212.5. The sharp money is heavy on it right now. The under right now is 23% of the bets, 29% of money as of recording right now. Obviously that could change, but that's pretty strong. Split right there. 34% of the bets, 66% of the money is on Orlando. Again, I just think there's a letdown spot for Oklahoma City. And Orlando in particular is a dominant defensive team, even without Franz Wagner and without Paolo. And they're missing a lot of their offensive starters. So and because Orlando's missing a lot of their top offensive players, and Oklahoma City is on a bit of a letdown, I think the smart play here, if you had to bet it right this second, would be the under 212.5. That's probably going to be a play that I add in, but that's where I would start there at OKC and Orlando. Next, we go Jazz and Pistons. I like the Pistons here -4.5. Again, I haven't bet it, but if I had to bet it right this second, I would go with the Pistons -4.5. This would be listen, the Pistons are getting better. Cade Cunningham is really showing that he is I think he's gonna be a very, very solid NBA point guard and very, very good for years to come. And the Pistons with their young guys continue to get better. They just continue to get better and better and better. And the Jazz, on the other hand, are young, but they keep progressing. Now the Jazz have the better player, the best player on the court with Lauri Markkanen. However, the Pistons, to me, look like the better team right now. Plus, the Pistons are at home. Everyone's well-rested. Everyone's equal. You've been able to game plan. I like the Pistons. I think they go -4. I think they win this game by 8 to 10 points, which I don't think I've ever bet the Pistons being favored ever in my whole life. But this might be the day. Not whole life. My whole life, obviously. But the last 3-4 years. I like the Pistons here. -4. I think they win this game. And I think they win this game comfortably, to say the least. Next, we're going Hornets and Wizards. I go the Wizards +4.5 here. They're at home. The Hornets have gone cold for most of this past month. The first month of the season, they were just a high-flying team that played no defense, scored a lot. Now they're a team that plays no defense, doesn't score at all. Big problem if you're Charlotte. And the Wizards, I think, have gotten a little bit better, man. Alex Sars good center. I mean, if Jordan Poole could have one of his good games today, I think they win this game pretty easily. Plus, I get 4.5 points at home. If they can just do a competent job guarding LaMelo and Brandon Miller, and they let the role players on the Hornets kill them, I think that the Wizards win this game outright. You don't even need the 4.5 points, but for the show, I'll bet the 4.5. But if you want to get frisky with it, bet the money line. The money line for the Wizards right now. The money line for the Wizards right now is plus 142. So if you really want to get frisky with it, go with the Wizards on the money line. But I like the plus 4.5. I haven't bet it yet, but if I had to, that's where I'd go. Next, we're going Bulls and Celtics. I think the reputations of these teams over like the last 60 years is better than the actual game today. But this is a Vegas trap line all day long. This is a Celtics minus 14.5 play all day long. I mean, the Celtics, again, the Vegas is begging you to bet the Bulls today. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're begging you to bet the Bulls. They're putting this juicy line. They're being like, okay, listen, the Bulls might be bad. They're 12-15, but they're not going to lose by 15 or more to the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics have looked a little human the last couple of weeks. And then the Celtics are going to go and blow the doors off of them and win by 27. Because the Celtics shoot the ball at an incredibly good rate from three. They also shoot an insane amount of threes. And I mean insane amount of threes. And on top of that, the Bulls play no defense. And if they aren't scoring at the same clip as they were earlier this season, which they're not, by the way, that's how you lose big games. It's a huge number. But if I did bet it, I'd swallow that number and I'd go with the Celtics here minus 14.5 as of right this second. And I'd that's where I'd lean. Next, we have Nets and Raptors. Nets plus 4 is where I roll. The Raptors don't have the horses. The Nets are coming off a humiliating loss to the Cavs. Now, I mean, they got blown the fuck out. I mean, it was the definition of getting your doors blown off. And the Raptors don't have, like I said, the horses, and the Nets have the wing defenders to be able to guard who's left. And the Nets will be motivated after getting absolutely roasted by the Cavs. And again, so much of the NBA, and I don't like saying this, but it's true, is that so much of the NBA is like, who's going to care today? And the Nets 100% are going to care more of the Raptors after the Nets got blown out by the Cavs. So give me the Nets plus 4. That's what I roll with. Plus, also the Raptors don't have Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes leads the league in chromosomes, I'll tell you what, with how he acts, but he's still a good player. So I like the Nets here, plus 4, if I had to go with it right now. Next, we're going to go with the Warriors and Grizzlies. I go Grizzlies minus 2.5 versus the Warriors. The Grizzlies, man, it's all about the matchups. I mean, Steph is Steph. He's awesome. However, Desmond Bane is about as good of a matchup as you can get against Steph. On top of that, they have no one to guard Ja. They don't really have the guy to guard Desmond Bane. When Ja's there, Desmond Bane turns into a B+, A- player. With Ja not there, he's like a B- player. And I think that's going to be a big deal because I don't really know on the Warriors who's going to guard Desmond Bane or Ja Morant. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a problem on the inside, and I mean an absolute problem. I don't think he's going to play today, but if he does, it's a big deal when it comes to size. The Grizzlies are at home, and the young guys on the Grizzlies I think this Grizzlies team is a lot better than people give them credit for because last year they were just so bad because of all the injuries and suspensions and the bullshit. But today, all things being equal, the Grizzlies minus 2.5 here I think is the play. They're at home. They have the better team. So give me the Grizzlies here minus 2.5 versus the Warriors. Next, Pelicans and Rockets. This is one where I just don't really have a great feel for. I just don't. If I had to go with something here, I'd probably go Pelicans plus 9, but I don't love it. There's too many points. The Pelicans are also getting healthier. And the big thing with the Pelicans, the way you beat them, and you can beat them in a number of different ways, but the main way you can beat them is if you have a dominant inside presence where you can throw the ball down to someone, they can go and post up, and they get, like Giannis, for example, who dunks, can shoot the little 5-foot fadeaways, that sort of thing. That sort of deal. The Rockets just don't have that. They have Alperen Sengun, who's awesome. I mean, he is awesome. But he's more like Diet Jokic than he is like anything else. And, for me, if you're looking at this game, the Rockets 9 points is a lot. And I bet the Rockets a lot this year. And I mean a lot. And I made a lot of money betting on this Rockets team this year. They've been awesome against the spread. However, this is a game where the Pelicans keep it close. 9 points is a lot of points. And let's say hypothetically the Pelicans get healthy, they can go on a run. And let's say they don't. They're also auditioning for jobs. So I think the hungrier team here is the Pelicans, and I get the plus 9. So give me the Pelicans here, plus 9 versus the Rockets. Next, we got Hawks and Spurs. I'd probably go Hawks here, plus 1.5. Again, this is just one I just don't love. Again, I want to wait for more data to come in, checking injuries, that sort of deal. But to me, this is Hawks all day long. I mean, I understand that the Spurs, the big thing here you got to look at. You got to look at the matchups. So, Wemby can get guarded well by Clint Capella and Ogangwu. I know I'm not saying his name right. Give me shit in the comments. That's totally fine. But I know I'm not saying his name right. They can give him serious problems. And the Spurs have been disappointing this year. I mean, to me, they just have. They were supposed to take a major step forward, then they take a small step forward. Plus, I mean, the Spurs, like their guys they brought in are like old guys, like Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul. I'm not really sure how they're going to guard Trae Young and Zachary Bouchari and like all these dudes. DeAndre Hunter's back. I mean, it's a big deal. And the Hawks are getting 1.5 points. I mean, that's pretty nuts. And plus, you saw them in the NBA Cup. They actually look really, really solid. And plus, I mean, the Spurs coach is distracted, man. I mean, dude's talking about Kamala Harris like a month and a half after the election. I mean, it's just weird shit, dude. Like, I don't get that. Like, why he's talking about the press conference, like he cares that much about it. Care about the basketball game, dude. Like, you're getting paid millions of dollars to coach a game. Like, it doesn't make much sense. By the way, I'd say the same thing if people were talking about Trump too. It's just a weird thing. I think the Spurs coach is just distracted. I think Pop is distracted. Also, I just don't think the Spurs team has, again, I said the horses earlier, but I don't think they have the horse to keep up with the Hawks. I think the Hawks win this game. So give me the Hawks. I would take them plus 1.5. Money line's not much difference, like minus 102. So just take the points, or the point in this case, plus 1.5. Next, we're going Clippers and Mavs. Clippers, I take Clippers here plus 4.5. Luka's hurt. Sharp money's on the Clippers. I don't really love this Clippers team without Kawhi there, but the Mavs without Luka isn't great either. So, if you had to go with it, you'd probably go with the points. So I'm going with the points here, Clippers plus 4.5. Next, we got Pacers and Suns. I don't love this. I don't like the side of either of these games, but I do love the over. I like the over 235.5 in this game. Both teams are healthy, specifically Phoenix. They should be able to put a ton of points. And on top of that, Indiana is looking like the offensive juggernaut they were last year. They're starting to pick it up a little bit. And by the way, they're mirror images of each other in the sense of the Suns won't be able to guard Tyrese with. They're either going to have to put Devin Booker on him, which they're not going to, or they're going to put Tyus Jones on him, which Tyus Jones is going to. When they're going to put Tyus Jones on Halliburton, and Halliburton is going to absolutely cook this dude into fried chicken, like no joke. He's going to do it. And the fact is that Tyus Jones can't guard anybody. He's a great offensive player where he can start the offense, shoot plenty of threes, look great. But if Tyrese if he's gonna guard Tyrese Halliburton's gonna cook this motherfucker. I mean, that's just what's gonna happen. And on the inside, you're gonna have Nurkic and KD trying to guard Siakam and Turner, which is a matchup nightmare. On the other side of things, you're going to have to try to guard KD, Booker, and Beal, and they have a legit point guard now, and Nurkic is a really strong center. So if you're, the defensive matchups for both these teams make no sense. Pacers and Suns, I'd go with the over 235. The number's high. It's very, very high. But given the matchups here, you got to go with the over. Next, Knicks and T-Wolves, under 214.5. The Sharps are on it. Both these teams are very familiar with each other personnel-wise after the trade. There's lots of rest. The sharp money is on the under in this game. 17% of the bet, 17% of the money is on the under 214.5. That's where I roll here. Both have really good defenses. Both offenses look disjointed and weird after these trades. So I have the under 214.5 in that game. Next, Nuggets and Trailblazers. I'm going to keep this one short, keep this one sweet. I don't give a shit about this game. Nuggets minus 8.5. That's all you got to do. Trailblazers are terrible. Next, Lakers and Kings. It's Kings minus 4.5 all day if you were to bet it. The Lakers disjointed, badly constructed, injured mess. And they're on quit watch in December, which is really saying something. And the fact that they're worse with Redick after having Darvin Ham last year, I mean, that's really something. There's no one to guard the perimeter versus this Kings team. You could be like, oh, well, Austin Reeves is going to guard De'Aaron Fox. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, I'm sure. D'Angelo Russell's going to be able to guard DeMar DeRozan. Say that out loud. Not going to happen. And Sabonis is a good matchup versus this Lakers team. As long as they can bother Anthony Davis, which I think they will be able to bother him, double him, they're just not going to be able to keep up. So Kings at home, Kings minus 4.5, give me that all day long. And if I were to bet it right now, I'm deciding plays a little bit later. I want for more data to come in. Now next we have the plays we've already put money on. So Sam Houston State plus 4.5. That's what I'm rolling with versus Georgia Southern. The sharp money is on Sam Houston State. I'm getting 4.5 points. And Georgia Southern has a bunch of transfers. So give me Sam Houston State plus 4.5. Next, Flames money line plus 118 versus Senators. Sharp money is on the Flames. The Flames are a bunch of young guys, and their lines 1, 2, and 3 look almost exactly the same because they're a bunch of young guys and they're still figuring it out. And I love that because they have scoring on 3 lines. The Senators just look worse and worse and worse. They started out hot last year. They have gone worse this year. And I like the over 5.5 Vancouver and Vegas. Vancouver played last night. when a team plays back-to-back, a lot of times they go over, which is the trend this year. And Vegas has a lot of good offensive talent, so I like the over 5.5 Vancouver and Vegas. Now, just so you guys know, we do have a full slate of members only best bets today. And if you want to continue to profit even more, become a member at zdmbets.com/pitch. All our members only best bets. Get all of our public plays earlier, so you can take advantage of early lines, early odds. You have a direct line to me to talk about any game you're concerned by that I didn't cover. And you can take advantage of all that at zdmbets.com/picks. Website is linked in the pinned comment below. But guys, go lock in those picks. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some money. I'll see you all tomorrow.